Hello everyone, it's me, your average bonehead, Jay. And to start off this new year, I wanted to try something different. So, I welcome you all to Character Skeletons, a new series I created where I'll give an analysis on any character I feel fit to do. These analyses will include a brief intro of the character, who is the character, their development throughout the series, movie, and maybe games if we get there, along with my overall opinions and thoughts of the character. They'll usually be positive. And then we'll end it out with my final thoughts. Sounds great? Good. Now it'd be good for you to know that I actually got this idea after being inspired by Unlucky Tug's Sodor's Finest series, and I decided I want to do something similar to that. So that's why we're here now. So now with all that out of the way, let's do what I usually do when I start a series and stay close to home. And what's more close to home on this channel than the Loud House? If you know me, then you'll know one of my biggest compliments to the Loud House has to be its characters. For a show that has to juggle at minimum 11 main characters at a time, I think it does a great job at it. Which is kind of ironic that that's my main compliment, considering how one of the main criticisms I see of the show is, ironically, of its characters. To which then I have to question if they actually watched the show before they opened their mouths or opened up Twitter. Yes, all 10 sisters do have one defining character trait to make them more easily identifiable and marketable, and the show's status quo obligations do prevent us from having any major changes to the characters' base personalities, and there's many times where a character will forget their lessons, and sometimes even their character, in order for an episode's story to work. Despite all of that, I don't think a Nickelodeon show has made me care more about its main cast, other than Avatar and Invader Zim, more than the Loud House does. And, hot take incoming, I think I honestly care more about the characters from the Loud House than I do the characters from Invader Zim as characters. But getting back on topic, I think if I were to choose one character to perfectly sum up how good the development of the Loud House is, it would have to be Lola Loud. Also, disclaimer, I'm only talking about the cartoon for this, or the real show as I call it. I have not seen the live action version, and I never intend to. I'm not touching that with a 49.5-foot pole. Who is Lola Loud? Lola Loud is the 9th of the 11 Loud siblings, and is the few-minute younger identical twin sister to Lana. Lola's role in the show is to be the pink bratty princess type, if that wasn't obvious from her design. A pageant princess, to be more precise. With numerous wins under her belt, she has a very high opinion of herself. Lola is probably the most egotistical character in the entire show, as she fully believes that the world should revolve around her, and that anyone and everyone is beneath her. And to make sure of that, Lola is a tattletale, as she is more than willing to blurt out any secret of someone if it will make her look good in comparison. Which is ironically hypocritical for her, as she's more than willing to cheat, scam, and lie her way to the top if it means everyone will see her as an angel, when in actuality she is acting like the devil. Despite all of this though, Lola is still a child. And she also does have a small moral compass, and she does genuinely care for her family.
Oh, thank you.
Character development. When I first started watching this show, Lola was a character I honestly expected to completely despise. I mean, how could I not, you're probably wondering. She sounds like a completely deplorable person. But, unlike other shows that have a character like Lola, the Loud House is aware how bad Lola can be, and it uses that to make her one of the most developed characters in this show. Whether it be in some episodes where she's portrayed as the antagonist and has to be taken down and learn her lesson, or episodes where she's not important to the plot and mainly used as a background gag for slapstick, or in episodes that are completely about her and Lola has to learn humility and that the world does not revolve around her. Not counting this abomination, which is more of just a Lincoln episode with Lola as a plot device rather than an actual character, so get this the hell out of here. Lola's character development began in the season 1 episode, Undie Pressure. In this episode, Lola is annoyed of Lincoln's habits of reading comics in his underwear, so the two of them make a bet that ends up ultimately dragging in all of the other sisters, saying that none of the sisters can do their habits if Lincoln won't do his. Lola and Lincoln continuously try to sabotage each other throughout the day, and after Lola gets her well-deserved comeuppance for starting this whole debacle, Lincoln still ultimately ends up losing the competition because Lily never cried. However, Lola ends up feeling bad for Lincoln, seeing that he would be the only one who has to give up his habit. So she's the one who gets Lincoln what he wanted, because she realized it wasn't fair. Something similar happens in the episode A Tattler's Tale, where Lola learns that all her siblings will meet up and tell each other secrets of bad things they've done in the past that they keep from their parents, but they never tell Lola because she's a tattletale. Once Lola finds out about this and they still won't let her into the group, she decides to blackmail all of them with their secrets, threatening to tell their parents if they don't do whatever she wants. But once they end up finding a secret about Lola and threaten her with it, Lola then realizes how bad she made them feel by doing this, and reveals that the only reason why she did any of this in the first place was because she just wanted to spend time with her siblings. So as a way to say sorry to all of them and regain their trust, she takes the blame for all of the secrets she was blackmailing them with. And after realizing this, her siblings finally let her into the group. Already you can all probably see that so far Lola's episodes are about her learning about fairness, and if people are going to be nice to her, she has to be nice back. But I also like Lola episodes where she has to learn to give up being the best in order to help people that she cares about. Like in the episode Community Disservice, where she gave up being in the pageant to be there for her new friend Millie, or in A Star is Scorned, where Lola gave up being seen as the best in order for Lily to have her time in the spotlight. I also see great Lola moments in episodes where she plays more of a secondary character rather than the main. I said character, not annoying plot device, get that off the screen. The first one to come to mind is the season 6 episode, The Last Laugh, where while this is definitely a Luann episode, I still really like Lola in this episode, as she ends up taking the role of Luann's new ventriloquist dummy after she broke Mr. Coconuts.
Allegedly.
And while of course at first Lola likes doing this for the popularity, she ends up also just enjoying the time she spends with Luann, which I find to be really sweet of her. We can also see something similar to this in the episode She's All Bats. The only difference is it's Lucy instead of Luann. Though Lola's also not without her smart and common sense moments. In the episode No Place Like Homeschool, the siblings find out that during pageant season, Lola is homeschooled so she can prepare. So they try to get homeschooled as well, but use it mainly as an excuse to goof off. While throughout the whole episode, Lola is warning them that they have to treat homeschool as regular school. And it's just so interesting to see Lola be the straight man of the episode, and seeing her genuinely care about her siblings and trying to warn them about the consequences for their actions. I also really love it when the show remembers that Lola is still a little girl and not a complete sociopath, like in the episodes A Tale of Two Tables and Seasons Cheatings, which both have moments in them where we get to see Lola's more childlike innocent side, and I just find those to be adorable.
Lucy, I want to suck your blood.
However, my favorite Lola episodes are the ones where it's revealed that she has weaknesses that she's rather embarrassed about, but tries to overcome them. The first one I want to talk about is the episode Read Aloud. In this episode, we learn that Lola cannot read, describing the fact that she could in a previous episode, but that's besides the point, and she is really embarrassed by this fact, because she feels like she's not perfect. But no matter how hard she tries by herself, it's just too hard for her. Heck, you can even argue that she doesn't try because she thinks she'll fail either way. But once Lincoln finds out about this, he immediately offers to help her and begins teaching Lola how to read, to which she finally starts learning.
Sound it out. There's the T, so ta. Then I...
Time.
I really like this episode because I like how it portrays a pretty realistic problem some kids could have. I also really like that they chose Lola for this story because Lola is supposed to be the perfect child. I don't think the story would have worked as well if they used someone like Lana instead. I also really liked how seriously Lincoln took the situation. He didn't laugh or make fun of Lola for being like this or anything. He just wanted to help her no matter what. Even after they missed the deadline for the competition they were in, it didn't matter to him. Seeing his little sister be happy was all that was important.
I read a whole book! Oh, thank you!
Also, quick side note, yes, I will be doing one of these videos on Lincoln eventually, since I have a lot to say about how much I love his character. But other than that, it's so interesting to see Lola have a pretty realistic problem, but also very great to see her not only overcome this problem, but be genuinely happy and grateful that she did. So yeah, pretty good episode. But it's not my favorite Lola episode. No. My favorite Lola episode is the episode Gown and Out. In this episode, we see that Lola has reached the big leagues of her pageants. Unfortunately for her, once she gets there, she's immediately intimidated by the other pageant goers. So much so that she immediately believes that no matter what she does, she's going to lose. And she has a big fear of failure.
What if I lose? I can't even say it without getting nauseous!
So, much like my second favorite episode, Head Poet's Anxiety, she does something that I was not expecting her to do based on her character. Rather than sabotaging the other pageant goers, Lola sabotages herself by pretending to be sick so she won't have to face her fear of failure. And what I really love about this is that she doesn't take advantage of the fact that Lori feels bad for her for being quote-unquote sick, telling Lori to go and enjoy the hotel spa. But feeling bad for her, Lori insists that today will be a special sister day for them, and tries to make Lola feel better. Oh, and I am also definitely doing a video on Lori in the future, because her journey from the worst character in the show to easily one of its best is inspiring to me. So with Lori being so nice to her and Lola feeling like she doesn't deserve it, the guilt just keeps on piling on and on and on until finally Lola admits that she was lying about being sick. But that doesn't bother Lori, as she completely understands why Lola lied in the first place, and also completely understands her fears of failure, as she tells her it doesn't matter if she loses and she should just make the best of the situation. So even when later in the episode, Lola does ultimately end up losing the pageant, failure doesn't bother her anymore, as she knows now to just enjoy the experience in general. And she's very grateful to Lori for teaching her this. And I just find that to be another sweet moment for this show.
You were right, Lori. Even though I didn't win, I'm really glad I did it.
While we're here, I also want to briefly touch upon Lola's relationship with her twin, Lana. It is honestly shocking to me how well these two get along, despite how polarizing their personalities are. I mean, throughout the earlier episodes of Season 1, they were practically always seen together. And while we did get to see the differences of their personalities in Toads and Tiaras, we later also got to see how much their relationship means to each other in the episode Patching Things Up, where they were both willing to sabotage themselves if it meant the other wouldn't fail on their own, which I find to be a really sweet moment for the two. But my favorite Lana and Lola episode would definitely have to be Sister Act, or as I like to call it, Cover Girls But Good, where the twins decide to swap places with each other in order to get out of habits the other wouldn't want to do. And despite what they're doing not being good, it is still fun to see these two actually work together, though of course karma does eventually come and collect for what they were doing. But that's besides the point. The point is, these two have a really good sister bond, and they only sometimes can get on each other's nerves. But overall, it's another thing that helps us really get to see Lola's good sides.
We're just good at different stuff. Bluebells or not bluebells, I don't care, as long as we're together.
Final thoughts. Lola Loud is emblematic of everything that I love about the Loud House. She's funny, she's cute, she has great development, and she takes tropes that I would usually dislike and manages to make them into something I think is amazing. From learning about being fair, to being able to put her pride aside for others, to being the hilarious straight man of the episode, to having genuinely adorable moments by herself or with her siblings, to the amazingly wholesome relationship she has with her twin, to learning humility and that winning isn't everything, and to learning how to overcome her fears from the people she cares about. Lola really has it all with this show. And while, yeah, I do like Luna, Luann, and Lenny a bit more than Lola, I must say she is up there as one of the best developed character in the entire franchise. To the point where I say she should wear that tiara with pride, as she earned it. Lola is the princess of this show.
Well, what did you expect? I'm Lola Loud.
And that's the character skeleton of Lola Loud.